Let's go!
So this popped up, and I was legit confused. I'm like, oh man, Cyber Akuma, dope. They're bringing it back. For those people that missed out on that Cyber Akuma costume, you know, like 4 years ago or some shit. They're bringing back Cyber Akuma. And then someone was like,
Max, this is new.
I'm like, what? They're like, Max, no, this is new. This has never been in the game before. And then I have to go back because my brain is like, no, I lived this. What the hell? I lived this. That's not true at all.
God. Okay. And in fact, if you don't do the...
That's not true at all. What? The date on this video is 2017. What? And then I realized this was a mod.
Oh, knock this chick off the tier list. Oh.
By the way, still in Ultra Gold. And yeah, it totally is a mod. Holy shit. Now the new one is a proper actual new costume with like functionality, and the wings show up appropriately and the logos it looks way better now. Granted, the mod was so good back in the day that it had me, what's that moment where you remember something being the way it was and it actually wasn't the way it was? The Heisenberg effect or whatever the hell it is. The not deja vu, the Mandela effect. I think I'm actually going through like some Mandela effect shit. I'm like, no, we did this. He's coming back. I was like genuinely like, oh, Cyber Akuma in Street Fighter V. Yeah, that's cool. Whatever. I was genuinely like, oh, whatever. Who gives a shit? Like, yeah, they're bringing the costume back. But now it's more like, no, they made a Cyber Akuma costume for Street Fighter V for the first time. There's a trailer now with Cyber Akuma officially being a thing in the game, and he is fighting Ryu Jin Saotome in an absolute Marvel vs. Capcom recreation battle trailer. That is now an actual official thing. And I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of sick. Wow, that's really sick. That's fucking cool. But at the same time, it's like, it's weird because I feel like I've been here before, right? I feel like I did this and I played as this. So granted, am I super jazzed to jump in and play as Cyber Akuma in Street Fighter V? Well, no, I did that like 4 or 5 years ago or some shit like that. But still, I think it's very cool, right? Still super cool that, dang, they put a Cyber Akuma costume officially into Street Fighter V, even though I thought that already happened. Sick, right? That is sick. That's very neat. It was a very confusing announcement for me. I don't know what the hell to say. Wait a minute. Fucking wait a minute. September 13th. This is from literally on Friday. What the fuck? I think I am living Returnal. What the hell? If I could tell you that I'm like working in tandem with Capcom on their marketing efforts, and we are closely interconnected in a way that heightens the announcements of Capcom games so that things can hopefully be better for the future moving forward for Capcom fighting games, then I would be 100% real with you and be like, oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely. Me and Capcom are working together to get this shit happening. Capcom has taken advice from me specifically now, and now we are now we're teaming up to make sure that this shit's gonna be dope in the future. If that was happening, I would love to announce it, but it's not. So that's what makes this super fucking weird to me. Cool, man. You know what? Cool. If this means that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has actually been in development for a hell of a long time and is about to be announced at some point later this year, fucking sick. Give it to me. Do it, you motherfuckers. Do it. Do it. I'll take the bullets. Do it. Preface this situation, right? To preface what's going on. Not even yesterday, like actually yesterday, I was talking to everybody about the latest Street Fighter DLC and how I couldn't believe that it is Cyber Akuma, because I felt that Cyber Akuma already was in the game. I was like, I think Cyber Akuma's already in the game, right? Everyone's already excited about this, but that was actually a mod. Mandela effect kicked in. I had no idea. Just earlier today, this happened. Street Fighter V is getting a Ruby Heart costume over Rose.
What's the meaning of fate? You shall know.
And they replaced her scarf with the chain thing that she uses in MVC2. And it's pretty damn cool. Yeah, she's got like a chain and an anchor that she uses as a weapon sometimes. Set sail with the fierce pirate. Captain Ruby Heart. So this is bizarre, right? Here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh man, Capcom is aware of hashtag free MVC2, you know? Oh man, they're appeasing us, they're teasing us. Like, I can already see the comments right now of like people talking about hashtag free Marvel 2 stuff, and I appreciate that, right? But I have a harsh, brutal reality for you guys regarding this character. You don't just make a character model for a game and a skin in an existing long-running large roster fighting game, and we just made the model in Blender or some shit, and then into the masses it goes. Bam! Remember that one creepy American kid? Is like, hey, he wants Marvel 2. Here's Marvel 2, motherfucker. And then they shoot this into the world. No. Even if it's a skin, right? Even if something is a skin, these things take months ahead of time to put together, much less in those months. Guess what also happens? QA. Because there's a good chance that, oh, the Ruby Heart costume that is in the game is causing everything else in the game to crash, right? The Ruby Heart costume breaks the online even more. The Ruby Heart costume prevents all the other costumes from being used. Crazy QA shit, you know what I mean? So even if it took them 6 days or something, even if it took them 7 days to put this together 2 months ago, they would need so much more QA to even make sure this thing functions. So what I'm trying to say is that this character's existence, if not the idea to put the costume even into the game, is predating hashtag free MVC2 by several months. Let me cope. Give me my copium, man. The fact that the previous costume they just revealed was a brand new Cyber Akuma costume, and the brand new costume that they revealed right now is a Ruby Heart costume. What do these two things have in common? Pretty fucking clear. These are versus game characters. Cyber Akuma doesn't appear in anything outside of technically being that boss, that version of him being a boss in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Ruby Heart is a MVC2 character. She's a versus character. That's just the way they are. So these two last costumes are just versus games. They're nods to Marvel vs. Capcom games. Are there any other characters that are in here that are like versus character reference? And you might be saying Captain Commando, you might be saying Jin, but they're not. Those characters are from their own respective franchises. Yeah, Captain Commando and Jin look like the versions that were sort of in MVC1, but they're not. No, those characters are from Captain Commando and Cyberbots. They're from different things. Shadow Lady was a boss fight. That is very true. I forgot about that. All I'm saying is that for them to suddenly stick in a couple of MVC characters, that's really cool. And it seems like they obviously, even predating hashtag free MVC2, aren't completely ignoring the Versus series, which is nice. Does it mean anything? Does it mean that, you know, right around the corner, they're going to release a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or an MVC compilation of some kind? I don't think you can pull anything from this. What this does do, in my opinion, is essentially reacclimate the thought process that the current development staff at Capcom Fighting Games didn't forget about the Versus series. Now, here's the crazy thing. This clip is from April 6th, 2021. Let's take a look. I would prefer this I'd prefer what the chat just said over Skullomania. I'd prefer it over a KOF character. I'd prefer it over Akira from Virtua Fighter, right? I'd prefer it than any other crossover. You know which character I think this character should be for Street Fighter V? Ruby Heart. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't think it's a premonition of whatever this shithead is saying is a premonition of what potentially could be happening, because it was Luke, right? It ended up being a Street Fighter 6 character. But that's weirdly close, right? That's bizarrely close. So what I'm trying to say is that 7 months ago, they might have been watching the stream. What I'm trying to say is that somebody at Capcom is paying attention to the streams every once in a while. And somebody was like, huh, well, we're not doing that, but that's a good idea. Maybe we could stick Ruby Heart in here somehow. Maybe. And voila, she has now appeared in not the way that I was expecting,
You shall know.
but has appeared in some way. So you know what? Cool, right? If some of my influence is going beyond my chat, because I love influencing my chat, if it's somehow getting to Capcom and the eyes and ears of the people that, you know, are making some of these games, and, you know, maybe they're realizing that people are pretty damn excited about this shit, it's just a costume, you know? It's just a costume, but dang, even some of this stuff can make people pretty happy. Pretty cool, man. If there's one thing looking at this image right now, this is definitely not the future I was expecting. That's pretty sick, Capcom. I gotta give you guys some credit. Every single character that you've put into this season for this game has been pretty sick. And I like some more than others, but goddamn, did you hit a home run on Akira? Goddamn, did you hit a real big home run on Dan Hibiki? And goddamn, some of the crazy gameplay stuff that I'm seeing on Oro and Rose is pretty nuts. In fact, I think the versions of these characters, considering the history of Street Fighter V essentially nerfing characters and having them being essentially lesser versions of their previous ones, every single new character that has been added to Street Fighter V at this point has been a more interesting and better version of themselves, gameplay-wise especially, than any other games that they've been in. If there can be more of that, that'd be great. If that kind of energy can be put into Street Fighter 6, that would be great, because stuff like this is making people pretty happy. I'm pretty happy, and it's clear that there's a road that hopefully this stuff leads to that we can only pray can happen at some point. I'll take what we can get. Hashtag Free Marvel 2 is a campaign for an extremely old game that makes a lot of people super happy, and at least this might be conveniently lining up with that in some way. And I think that's all I can really ask for. So.